Part 7. Fantasy, I am the big boss behind the scenes. Author, Guanyun Taoist. Chapter 61. Well, the mountains are continuous and guard the central sacred mountain, which is a treasure. An ancestor king looked at the sacred mountain guarded by thousands of people in the center and commented, "What are those humans doing here? Is it possible that we want to unearth the remains of an ancient emperor again?" Another primordial king spoke, his voice a little joking. "Oh, the ancient emperor? It's just false. There has never been a single being who has reached the pinnacle of the extreme realm in tens of thousands of years. Nowadays, the so-called emperors of the human race in the eastern wasteland are appearing frequently. Are they all ancient emperors who can stand shoulder to shoulder with the ancient emperor? What a dream!" The purple-haired ancient king couldn't help but sneered. What is the existence of the extreme? The heaven and the earth share the same respect, and they are invincible in the universe. I don't know how many thousands of years have passed to give birth to such an existence. Even with the foundation of all ancient races, such a long-standing existence over the years, the number of ancient emperors born has been extremely rare. Even the powerful and prosperous ancient royal family can only give birth to one ancient emperor with the whole family, and there is no exception. Can a mere human race give birth to a supreme being? And there are several of them in a row? How is that possible? This place is like a good big tomb, where all those human ants can be buried. Don't waste time, go to the central sacred mountain, find those human races, bring them back to the city, and kill them all. Only with the blood of these human races can we calm the anger in our hearts. The 5 primordial kings only stopped in place for a moment, and then walked together towards the primordial sacred mountain in the center of Wanren. In the sacred mountain, in the 5th secret realm. The 5 ancient kings went out together? It came pretty quickly. Qin Mu raised his eyebrows and whispered. He had already sensed the existence of the 5 ancient kings. At this moment, the 5 human race leaders had left the stone steps on the 9 heavens and were leading their disciples along the way. Return the same way. Although the ancient platform is extremely mysterious and may contain eternal secrets, the falling chaos waterfall covers everything. It is not something they can force. The dead leader of the celestial god sect is the best example. However, even if they couldn't get anything, everyone's hearts were filled with excitement. They only needed to know that this place was related to the ancient emperor of the human race, and that ancient Taoist platform might have been left by the ancient emperor of the human race. Yes, this alone is enough. Everything here is real evidence, proving the existence of the ancient emperor. Proving that the human race also had emperors. They were not ants who were slaughtered by thousands of ancient races. 5. A headmaster led his monks back very quickly. Firstly, it was because they had already found out when they came that there was no danger here. Secondly, they also wanted to return to the holy city early and tell more humans what they had seen here. I believe that many human races in the eastern wasteland will be extremely excited when they hear this news. It's a pity that I arrived a little late, otherwise I would just put those ancient ancestor kings here and kill them directly. Qin Mu looked at the people leaving and shook his head slightly. If those ancient kings entered the secret realm and came to this ancient Taoist platform, Qin Mu could activate the power here and wipe them out. But now many human monks will immediately. It is probably impossible to leave the secret realm, meet those ancient kings, and lure them here. However, Qin Mu did not panic, because he had already laid out multiple plans. If one plan doesn't work, just change to another. He raised his head and glanced at the Taoist platform rising and falling above the 9 heavens, with a smile on his lips. On the Taoist platform, the chaotic energy surged, and no one could see through it. But he could see that on the Taoist platform, higher up, the mountain wall protrudes, with jagged rocks. There seems to be a big black and yellow bell hidden in the mountain wall. The monks from the 5 human forces were in high spirits and returned to the original route. However, When they walked to the entrance of the mine and were about to leave, the mighty aura of the ancient king coming from the distance, and the 5 figures walking in the air, like demon gods coming to the world, caused everyone's expressions to change drastically. This is the aura of the ancient king. My God, 5 ancient kings. 5 ancient kings have arrived here. What are they going to do? Everyone's heart was awe-inspiring. Even the 5 sects had solemn expressions. The 5 ancient kings came hand in hand and walked towards the sacred mountain. Could it be that they were coming for them? Just when this thought emerged in someone's mind, that person, the indifferent voice that sounded from the horizon, made everyone pale. Huh? These ants actually came out on their own. It's better to come out, it will save you a lot of effort. Black Tiger was not found, and our aura was never detected. The decree must have been destroyed and Black Tiger is dead. Human ants should be punished. 5 majestic figures came to the front of the sacred mountain, like an immortal ancient magic mountain. Even the brilliance of the sun was blocked, which made people feel desperate. These ancient kings were really coming for them, and it looked like they were coming. That's not good. A human race leader's heart tightened and he gritted his teeth and said, I wonder what happened when the 5 ancient kings came. If they had known before that the ancient king was coming, everyone would have definitely hid in the deepest underground space and not come out. But now that the ancient king is so close, there is no chance to go back. Why? Don't you, the human race, know this? The purple-haired ancient king spoke, looking down with a look of indifference in his eyes. If you do not respect the law, kill our envoys, and destroy my spiritual thoughts, you should be punished. After that, the purple-haired ancient king said no more, and didn't want to hear what the humans below said. He stretched out a palm, turned into a giant palm that covered the sky, and pressed down. The huge palm, with a powerful breath, blocking the sky is not something that a Holy Lord-level powerhouse can withstand. If this palm were pressed down, at least half of the human monks below would die. The other 4 ancient kings just looked at it coldly. No one stopped this scene. Although I had said before that these human ants would be captured and executed in the city. However, the purple-haired ancient king was damaged by the human race's unknown means of destroying a ray of divine will. Now he must kill him first. A part of the human ants fell away to calm down their anger, but no one wanted to stop it. The giant palm that covered the sky, carrying the terrifying aura that destroyed everything, fell from the sky, making everyone below despair. This is not a level of power at all, it is difficult to resist. Even 5 people, the leader of the human race, couldn't help but look desperate at this moment. The ancestor king is here, the saint is not out, and no one can defeat him. They can't even escape. But, at this critical moment, the ground under everyone's feet began to a faint tremor began. No, not just the ground under your feet, but the entire sacred mountain was trembling. The sacred and peaceful aura spread from the entire sacred mountain. When, vaguely, everyone seemed to hear a long bell ringing, coming from the belly of the sacred mountain and resounding throughout the world. What kind of bell is that? The sound of the bell contains unparalleled grandeur and majesty, like the first clear sound in the world after the creation of the world, reverberating between heaven and earth. It's like the first ray of light in the eternal night, tearing through the darkness and shining in all directions. When a bell rang, not only the sacred mountain, but also the thousands of peaks surrounding it all resonated and trembled. Fantasy, I am the big boss behind the scenes. Author, Guanyun Taoist. Chapter 62. The 5 ancient ancestor kings were watched by countless eyes from the moment they traveled together and came to the earth. In these eyes, there are human races and ancient races. The birth of 5 ancient kings this time is not the intention of all the ancient races in the eastern wasteland. A few days ago, the great saint manifested in the world, ruling the world and intimidating all the ancient royal families. Now, although descendants of the emperor's blood have come forward to tell many ancient ethnic groups that the so-called Dachan holy body and the ancient emperor are both false, even if they are true, there is also the ancient emperor's background to resist it, so it is not enough to support it. But in addition to some ancient ethnic groups who are ready to move, there are still some ancient ethnic groups who have not moved and do not agree with dealing with the human race at this moment. Even if the so-called Dachan holy body that day was really false, who knows if he has really fallen now? A quasi-emperor. Although he is old and frail this year and is even on the verge of transformation, if he is not dead, it will be a great deterrent. It is better to wait for a while, wait for it to fall, and then take action against the human race. However, some powerful and radical ancient races did not adopt this suggestion, so today the 5 ancient kings issued decrees and went out together to suppress the human race. However, wherever they go, there are countless eyes watching them. The ancient clan, which is still hiding behind and has not moved, will adjust its attitude towards the human race based on the outcome of today's events. It is conceivable that if the 5 ancient kings oppressed the human race today, the human race would be completely unable to resist. From now on, the human race in the eastern wasteland will live in dire straits, and their lives will be even more miserable than before. When the 5 ancient kings came to the sacred mountain, the purple-haired ancient king struck out with a palm, about to destroy the small half-human monk. The spiritual thoughts of the royal ancestors are constantly intersecting and colliding on the land of the eastern wasteland. It seems that the human race is really unable to resist, and is already at the end of its rope. If these human forces are eliminated, the human power in the eastern wasteland will be severely damaged. Since nothing unexpected has happened yet, the human race must have no backup plan. It seems that everything that happened before was just the human race's bluff. Haha, there must be a price to pay for doing so. The order is passed. Starting tomorrow, our clan's territory will be expanded by 3,000 miles. All human clans within the territory will be expelled. If anyone refuses to comply, all of them will be killed. Pass my order. Starting from tomorrow, the number of origin stones required of these human slaves must be increased by 30%. If they cannot do this, then all of them will die. The spiritual thoughts of the ancestor kings converged in the void. Some people have even begun to pass down orders to squeeze the human race even more in order to avenge the previous humiliation. Thousands of human races in the entire eastern wasteland will soon usher in an incomparable dark age. However, just when the human race was in despair and fear, and all the ancient races were ready to take action, the long bells sounded from the sacred mountain, like the sound of the great Deo, resounding throughout the entire eastern wasteland. When the sound of the bell is vast, shaking the heaven and the earth. The lingering sound of the bell seems to have an unparalleled magic power, making the souls of all living beings tremble and shake with it. What happened? What happened? In front of the sacred mountain, the 5 kings and ancestors were all shocked. When the bell rang, the hairs on their bodies stood up. It felt like a supreme being awakened from a deep sleep. When the second bell sounded, and the wind and clouds gathered above the sacred mountain, and there were thousands of auspicious colors. There are thousands of rays of light in the sky, golden lotuses are everywhere, and thousands of laws fall from the sky. Vaguely, above the sacred mountain, there was the phantom of an ancient bell, which shocked the world. And when the second bell sound came out, an invisible force spread and easily defeated the attack of the purple-haired ancient king. This ancient clock, this ancient clock. Under the sacred mountain, many human beings looked up at the huge and vast phantom of the ancient bell, with shocked expressions on their faces, as if they had thought of something. The supreme emperor's weapons of my human race, the great emperor Wuxi. The old headmaster of Tianshu Holy Land spoke with a trembling voice, and gave the answer that everyone was thinking. They all remembered that above the wall carvings, the head of Emperor Wuxi hung high. Listen to this ancient bell. This ancient bell is the weapon of Emperor Wuxi. Oh my god, it's the weapon of the Emperor Wushi. The Emperor Wushi has appeared, we are saved, we are saved. Is the manifestation of the Emperor's godless soldiers meant to protect the current human race? Under the sacred mountain, all the human monks were trembling, extremely excited, and kept kowtowing to the inside of the sacred mountain. The sound of the bell came from the sacred mountain. Perhaps, the imperial weapons held by Emperor Wushi in the past were hidden here. In the sacred mountain. The great Emperor Wushi? The Emperor of the Supreme Path? Listening to the excited words of many human races under the sacred mountain, the five ancient kings all look surprised and uncertain. The sound of this bell is really too magical, almost demonic, and it possesses an immortal power that makes people fearful. Could it be said that there really was an emperor in the human race who created such a supreme ancient bell? The expression of the purple-haired ancient king was difficult to distinguish. He looked at the demon that appeared on the sacred mountain. That vast ancient bell was struggling in its heart, not knowing whether it should continue to take action to suppress the many human races below. After all, the weight of these four words, Jideo Emperor Weapon, is too heavy, enough to crush eternity. They are the most powerful Jideo. The embodiment of the Tao and the Dharma, one blow is enough to embody the supreme power of the former Jideo strongman, and no living thing can resist it. If the phantom of the divine bell on the sacred mountain is really a Jideo Emperor Weapon manifestation, its power is simply unimaginable. The five ancient kings were hesitant, their hearts full of surprises, not knowing what to do. But at this moment, the phantom of the ancient bell hanging on the sacred mountain slowly shake out the third note. When, the divine bell shook and the third bell rang. But this time, everything was completely different. The previous two bells rang, although they shocked the world, the bells were filled with tranquility and peace. But the sound of this bell suddenly changed, filled with boundless solemnity and majesty, as if it was ringing in unison with the heavens, enough to break the heaven and the earth. The ancient bell vibrated, the sky and the earth shattered, and a bright golden light pierced the heaven and earth, pouring out from the sacred mountain, like an eternal divine light, shining through the mountains and rivers, shaking the world. At this moment, the purple-haired ancient king was extremely frightened, his heart was beating wildly, and he instantly felt like a disaster was imminent. He looked up to the sky and roared, manifesting a huge Dharma body, which was in harmony with the heaven and earth. His momentum was raised to the peak, shaking the whole world. Brush. The golden light flashed and shone in all directions. It turned into a golden lightning and descended from the sky. With a terrifying power that could reverse the world, it struck at the huge Dharma body of the purple-haired ancestor king. Ah! Frightened screams rang out, and there was no way to resist. When the golden light passed by, the purple-haired ancient king's legal body was instantly shattered, and his true body was instantly turned into ashes, completely wiped out from the world, leaving only a horrified scream. A wisp of bell sound buries the ancient kings. This situation is like a fairy tale. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I am the big boss behind the scenes. Author, Guanyun Taoist. Chapter 63. The sound of the bell echoed between heaven and earth. Like Huangzhongdalu, it shocks people's hearts and minds. It's like the rising sun tearing through the boundless darkness. At this moment, all the creatures who witnessed the scene were shocked and speechless, unable to control themselves. A bell rang, and an extremely powerful ancient ancestor was killed instantly without even the slightest ability to resist. This is really shocking. The ultimate weapon is the ultimate weapon. In front of the sacred mountain, the remaining four ancient kings could no longer maintain their previous aloof and arrogant attitude. They were shocked and lost their voices. In addition to the resurrection of the ultimate divine weapon, there are other beings in the world who can destroy a powerful ancestor with one blow. King. You must know that the true form of the weapon has not yet been manifested. It is just a condensed shadow, but it has such power. In addition to the legendary weapon that can only be forged by the strongest in the extreme, it can reproduce the power of the extreme. Who else in the world can do it? The great emperor's power, kill the ancient king. The supreme, beginningless emperor. The great emperor. The great emperor. Under the sacred mountain, the human monks were trembling all over and roaring excitedly. The ancient emperor's weapon has revived, manifested in this world, and killed powerful enemies. Go quickly, go quickly. Get out of here quickly. At this moment, the remaining 4 ancient ancestors were in shock, and their livers and gallbladders were about to break. The divine soldiers of the extreme path have revived, and the imperial soldiers cannot come out. What can they do to resist? It turns out that there really is an emperor in the history of the human race, and everything is not an illusion. Now that the ancient human emperor's weapon has revived, and the emperor's soldiers cannot come out, who in the world can resist him? In front of the sacred mountain, the 4 ancient kings fled madly, wishing to leave here immediately. They were extremely embarrassed. At this moment, in their hearts I regretted so much why I had to coerce the human race today and bring such a huge disaster to myself. But now that the matter has come to this, regret is useless. They can only use all their strength to escape from this terrifying place that makes their souls tremble. You receive shocking points add 1551 from Jiva Chang. You received shocking points add 45,511 from Gu Tianxing. You receive shock points add 35,454 from Huangju. You receive from. On the top of the sacred mountain, Qin Mu stood silently, looking at the direction in which the 4 ancient kings were fleeing madly. The shock points are rising crazily at an unprecedented speed. Every jump will provide Qin Mu with nearly 100,000 shock points. The Wuxi bell rang, and the scene was really shocking. This soul-stirring bell could be heard throughout the eastern wasteland, and the shock points it brought to Qin Mu were naturally unprecedented. Come when you want and leave when you want? It's not that easy. Now that you're here, let's all stay. Looking at the 4 ancient ancestor kings who were running away crazily in the distance, as if they had been frightened out of fear, Qin Mu's voice was calm and he waved his hand gently. The palm of his hand fell, and the sacred mountain trembled. Above the 9 heavens, the ancient bell once again appeared shake, the sound of the bell shakes the heaven and the earth. When the sound of the bell reappeared, and another brilliant golden light emerged from the sacred mountain. The aura of Jida permeates the air and seems to be able to suppress the 9 heavens and 10 earths. The golden light flashed, as if it came from the ancient world, and came to this world, shocking the world. The bright golden light seemed to be stationed in the eternal realm of time, fleeting and spreading throughout the heavens. In just an instant, he caught up with the fleeing ancient ancestor king, and calmly killed him in the face of the opponent's extremely frightened eyes. Wow, the wind blew and everything ceased to exist. Another ancient ancestor king turned into dust, lost all breath, and was removed from heaven and earth. The sound of the ancient bell stirs the heaven and earth, seems to be connected with all the ways of heaven and earth, and has an indescribable magic power that makes the remaining 3 ancient kings despair. In front of this shocking bell sound, they didn't even know how to resist. That golden light can destroy everything in the world. Even if you are a royal ancestor, you cannot escape the fate of being shocked and killed. Dang dang dang. The bell rang again, this time it vibrated 3 times in a row. The sky near the divine bell was shattered. Unable to withstand this power, it turned into an endless dark void, and even chaotic air currents emerged, disrupting the world. The 3 bells are loud and solemn. But in the ears of the remaining 3 ancient kings, it sounded like a soul-stirring sound coming from the netherworld, making them faint. 3 more golden rays of light pierced the heaven and earth, catching up with the 3 fleeing ancestor kings, cutting them into dust, and thus eradicating them from the world. Since then, silence has finally returned to heaven and earth, with only the shadow of an immortal bell rising and falling in the 9 heavens. A wisp of bell sound buries an ancient king. The ancient bell vibrated 5 times in a row, and 5 powerful ancient kings were killed. This is an unimaginable power, far beyond the understanding of all sentient beings. At this moment, the supreme bell sound was echoing throughout the eastern wasteland. All the ancient creatures who were ready to make a move looked at the dazzling shadow of the ancient bell with fear. At this moment, all the human races in the eastern wasteland were shouting, roaring, and kowtowing devoutly to the divine bell in the sky. They were so excited that they couldn't help themselves. At this moment, the world is quiet, only the ancient bell is ringing, as if it is speaking for the ancient emperor to subdue all the races in the eastern wasteland. Until this moment, no one in the ancient tribes in the eastern wasteland doubted him anymore. The human race also has a supreme emperor, who once ruled the world and was unrivaled. Fantasy, I am the big boss behind the scenes. Author, Guanyun Taoist. Chapter 64. The bells of the sacred mountain rang, shocking the heavens and the earth, as if the ancient emperor had come in person, recreating part of his supreme power. At this moment, there was complete silence between heaven and earth. All living creatures in the eastern wasteland were frightened by this godless power and did not dare to make any move. The 5 ancient kings were killed like ants. It's so scary, this is the ultimate divine weapon. The ultimate divine weapon that can only be forged by the strongest in the extreme. The human race indeed has an emperor. It is curious and frightening. Has the human race really unearthed the remains left by the most powerful people in prehistory? If this is the case, I'm afraid I won't be able to torture the human race too much in the future. At this moment, there are countless primordial king-level presences in the residences of the primordial royal clan, looking in the direction of the holy mountain in the distance, their eyes full of awe. Those primordial ancestor kings who just wanted to further squeeze the human race hurriedly withdrew their orders at this time. I don't dare to do this anymore. Just kidding, the human race's Jidao Emperor soldiers are still hanging in the sky, and they have just effortlessly killed 5 ancient kings. Dealing with the human race at this time is simply making yourself uncomfortable. These ancient kings don't want to die like the 5 ancestor kings who fell before. The ancient clock vibrated slowly and vibrated several times in succession. However, at this time, only the majestic sound of the bell was emitted, echoing in the heaven and earth of the eastern wasteland, seeming to be admonishing and warning all ancient races. Finally, the sound of the bell dissipated, and peace returned to heaven and earth. The weapon of the Emperor Wuxi. Right in this sacred mountain. Under the sacred mountain, many human monks turned around and looked at the sacred mountain behind them, with extremely excited expressions. The human race also has Jidao divine weapons. For all races in the world, this is definitely a piece of exciting and great news. Extremely, the existence of the Taoist divine soldier is really important and can be called the greatest deterrent. Why did those ancient ethnic groups that once gave birth to the ancient emperor become the royal family and tower over many ancient royal families? The blood of the emperor flows in their bodies. Is part of it? More importantly, they have the foundation of the imperial way left by the ancient emperor of the extreme path. Among them, the most important thing is the divine weapon of the extreme path. An ancient king, if he holds the imperial weapon of the extreme path, can even reach several times. Against enemies in different realms, it is even easier to defeat the powerful ones in the same realm. And now, the human race finally has its own Jidao Emperor weapon, and it is so extraordinary that with one move, it can directly turn 5 ancient kings into ashes. For the ancient tribe, this is definitely a supreme deterrent. At the very least, when facing the human race in the future, they will no longer be as unscrupulous as before, but will be fearful and jealous in their hearts. Unfortunately, just after entering this place, no trace of the Jidao Emperor's soldiers was found. A human race leader said regretfully. The Emperor's soldiers have spirits, maybe they are hidden somewhere. We just need to be silently grateful in our hearts. The power of the Wuxi Emperor is beyond what you and I can imagine. The old headmaster of Tianshu Holy Land said slowly. Even if you haven't witnessed the true appearance of the Emperor's soldiers just now, it doesn't matter. The human race only needs to know that the human race's extreme Emperor soldiers exist in the sacred mountain, and they can shock the eastern wasteland for the human race. That's all. A little is enough. All the monks from the 5 human clan forces under the sacred mountain have left, and peace has returned to the place. Qin Mu stood on the top of the sacred mountain, looking at the majestic eastern wilderness in front of him with misty eyes. He knew that this calm was only temporary. The Jidao Emperor's bell just rang, killing 5 ancient kings. It was not that real imperial soldiers were born, but Qin Mu exchanged part of the power of the Jidao Emperor's bell and used it to suppress the ancient kings. It takes a full 10 million shock points to exchange for the complete beginningless clock. To realize part of the power of the beginningless clock, it takes 200,000 shock points once. Qin Mu shook his head and said. To realize the real Wuxi bell, there are too many shock points, a full 10 million, and now he simply doesn't have so many shock points. Just now, 5 ancient kings were killed one after another. That was the result of Qin Mu spending 1 million shock points in exchange for the power of the everlasting bell. 200,000 shock points were used to kill an ancient king. This deal was actually not a loss at all for Qin Mu. Because every time he killed after losing an ancient king, the shock points he gained far exceeded 200,000. These 200,000 were actually equivalent to Qin Mu's initial investment. The shock points harvested later were harvested. And this one harvest is undoubtedly unprecedented for Qin Mu. Now, his shock points have soared to more than 8 million. 8 million shock points. This is Qin Mu's gain from passing the secret realm. Moreover, 8 million is not the end. When these human monks who left the sacred mountain told other human beings what they saw and heard in the sacred mountain, and spread the name of the Wuxi Emperor, thousands of human beings were shocked and admired. Qin Mu will continue to harvest more shocking points. Moreover, everything in the sacred mountain is truly embodied by Qin Mu. In the future, there will definitely be people coming here to worship the Emperor Wuxi. This will be another great deal. Generous shock points are deposited into your account. This is the benefit of a completely real open secret realm. The harvest of shock points is a steady stream and is not a one-time transaction. The ringing of the Wuxi bell should be able to shock the eastern wasteland for a while. During this time, I can think about how to arrange the next secret realm. By the way, my strength must also continue to improve. Qin Mu said softly to himself. He now has more than 8 million shock points in his hand. The strength of the Holy Lord level is indeed not enough. Leave 8 million in total and use all the remaining shock points to improve my strength. Qin Mu ordered. As the shock points passed by, Qin Mu's aura also strengthened. Finally, when the shock points that Qin Mu had dropped to 8 million, the aura in his body seemed to have reached its peak, and he was extremely relaxed. Breaking through the Holy Lord realm, he reached another new realm, the King realm. Host, Qin Mu. Realm, Xiantai Third Heaven, King. Practice techniques, Ancient Suzaku 4 strikes, Ju Tian Escape Earth Shadowless Scripture, part of, Over the Mountain Seal, Sun and Moon Seal, Human King Seal, Snow-Filled Universe, Kingly Killing Fist, Heaven Cutting Finger. Secret Technique, Dozi I Mi, Immortal King arrives in the 9 heavens, stars shine in the 9 heavens, Dozi I Mi, Kunpeng Secret Technique, Immortal Eye of the Spirit. Constructing a secret realm, the secret realm of 9 dragons lagging the coffin, the secret realm of inheritance of the ruthless emperor, the secret realm of the ancient bronze palace, secret realm of holy body inheritance, the secret realm of the holy mountain. The king's realm is between the saint realm and the holy lord realm. With Qin Mu's current strength, he is enough to conquer the eastern wilderness. If the saint does not come out, no one can compete with him. Fantasy, I am the big boss behind the scenes. Author, Guanyun Taoist. Chapter 65. Things were just as Qin Mu expected. When many monks from the five forces of the human race returned to Shenyang City and passed on what they had seen and heard in the Holy Mountain and everything related to Emperor Wuxi to many human races, the shock had just begun. The four words Wuxi Great Emperor appeared in the ears of the human race for the first time, and became known to more people in the praise of everyone. Within a few days, the fame and deeds related to Emperor Wuxi spread to almost the entire eastern wasteland. The bloodline is revered, and he is the descendant of the ancient emperor and the great saint. It can be called one sect and three emperors. Overflowing with talent, he rose up in the Golden Age, pushed hard all the way, defeated the geniuses from all over the world, and reached the pinnacle of independence. After Zhendao became the emperor, she was even more powerful. She suppressed all the heavens and realms with one hand, wiped out all turmoil and threats, and pushed the human race to its peak. It would be better to meet the ancient emperor of Zhendao than to meet Wuxi of the human race. This was the evaluation of the Wuxi emperor by a demon clan quasi-emperor in the past. One can imagine how powerful Emperor Wuxi was. His name seems to have a strange magical power, which is extremely heavy and shining, enough to suppress the universe forever. Many human races in the eastern wasteland are chanting Wuxi's name. There were even many human monks who set out for the holy mountain to pay homage to the Emperor Wuxi. This time, no one doubted whether there had ever been an ancient emperor in the human race who could rival the ancient emperor. A few days ago, the Zhendao emperor's soldiers rang the Wuxi bell continuously, killing 5 ancient kings and shocking the entire eastern wasteland. This matter has been concluded and there is no longer any suspense. After all, the ultimate divine weapon cannot be forged except by those who are extremely powerful. And it was not as expected by some ancient tribes. Everything was controlled and set up by an old quasi-emperor of the human race behind the scenes. At this point, the entire eastern wasteland is praising Emperor Wuxi's name, and Wuxi's name spreads throughout the world. It is precisely because of the intimidation of the Wuxi emperor that even after losing 5 ancient kings in succession, the ancient tribes in the eastern wasteland have still behaved very calmly during this period and have not taken any action against the human race, at least openly. It seems so. And in this rare calm, among the humans in the eastern wasteland, 2 young girls rose like comets, and their names gradually entered the ears of some powerful people. The first girl is naturally Ye Lingxiu, who has acquired the ruthless inheritance. Ever since that day when she beheaded Li Wushang in the Ice and Snow City and devoured the opponent's star-studded physique, Ye Lingxiu officially started her own journey of swallowing the sky. To practice the heaven-swallowing demon technique, you must go through constant killing, plunder the origins of various physiques, accommodate them all, and finally achieve eternity in your body. This is an extremely difficult and bloody road. It is just hard work and has no effect at all. Therefore, Ye Lingxiu resolutely left the Ice and Snow sect and traveled and wandered around the land of the eastern wasteland, taking advantage of various opportunities to devour various physiques and strengthen herself. Ye Lingxiu did not kill randomly. The targets she chose were basically the creatures of the ancient clan. Even if there are some human beings, they are all scum of the human race like Li Wushang, who is full of evil and does not want to die. And like those true geniuses of the human race, even if the opponent's physique made Ye Lingxiu's heart flutter, she did not take action. Her ambition is to protect the human race. If she really doesn't care about anything, even the human race, in order to improve her strength, then how can she still deserve to have the inheritance of the ruthless emperor? Of course, Ye Lingxiu's road was not always smooth. During this period, she encountered many dangerous situations and almost died. But in the end, she escaped by relying on the secret techniques recorded in the Tiantian ancient scripture, and became more powerful and unstoppable. Her name also began to be mentioned constantly among the people of the eastern wasteland. Of course, because the targets Yelingxiu chose to attack were all creatures from the ancient races, as well as some scum and villains among the human race. Even if her hands were stained with blood, her evaluation within the human race was still very positive, and not a bad reputation. Besides Yelingxiu, the second rising girl is Yunruoxi. Compared with Yelingxiu, Yunruoxi received obviously more attention. Because no one in the world knew about Yelingxiu's inheritance from the ruthless empress. And the blood of the holy body flows in Yunruoxi's body, and this matter has now spread throughout the eastern wasteland. Now, after the incident of the Wuxi emperor, the great holy body that appeared before is naturally considered to be true. On that day, Dachan holy body taught Yunruoxi the Dharma before leaving, and did not hide this matter from others. Now that Yunruoxi has the bloodline of the holy body and holds the inheritance of the holy body, the attention she has received is naturally unprecedented. All of this is naturally due to the invincible combat power of the Dachan holy body. The completion of the holy body is comparable to that of the ancient emperors. If Yunruoxi could attain the perfection of the holy body and be on par with the great emperor, then the situation of the human race in this world would be completely reversed. There is a great holy body that shocks the world, and even the ancient races do not dare to continue to oppress the human race. The human race will truly usher in the future and hope. And Yunruoxi's performance did not disappoint, it was amazing. In just less than a month of practice, he broke through the two realms of blood coagulation and bone tempering one after another, and reached the Shenqiao realm, which is like a myth. And her strength did not live up to this physique. After breaking into the Divine Bridge realm on the first day of the new year, she fought with two ancient creatures at the peak of the Divine Bridge realm, and finally defeated these two ancient creatures with her powerful physical strength. Kill them all. When you first enter the Divine Bridge realm, you can kill the ancient creatures at the peak of the Divine Bridge realm. At this time, Yunruoxi already had a trace of the invincible spirit of the holy body. The growth of Yelingxiu and Yunruoxi was watched by Qin Mu. He was also very pleased. After all, these two women are the successors chosen by themselves for their own supreme lineage. The better they perform, the more they prove that Qin Mu's original choice was correct. As the two girls continued to grow, Qin Mu also paid close attention to their whereabouts. Now, although Wu Shizhonwei suppressed and killed 5 ancient ancestor kings some time ago, it has brought a short period of tranquility and peace to the human race. But beneath the calm surface, there are endless undercurrents raging. The two women are now famous among the human race, which may not be a good thing. I am afraid that some people with ulterior motives will pay attention to them. And in this dark turmoil, Qin Mu was surprised to find that Yunruoxi and Yelingxiu, as if they had some kind of tacit understanding, finally arrived in Shenyang City and met here. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I am the big boss behind the scenes. Author, Guanyun Taoist. Chapter 66. In the eastern wasteland, within the human race's Shenyang city. Two girls with bright eyes, kind eyes, and natural beauty stood opposite each other, looking at each other quietly. Both women have slender figures, icy muscles, and jade bones, and their snow-white dresses are fluttering, like banished fairies coming to the dust. Are you Yunruoxi, the current holy body of the human race? Yelingxiu spoke, looked at the girl opposite, and took the lead in speaking. How did you know my name? Yunruoxi raised her eyebrows slightly. When she first saw the girl in white in front of her, she had a rather strange feeling. There was a faint murderous aura around her, which made people feel a little awe-inspiring. Meaning? I saw your portrait when passing by a human town. Yelingxiu spoke, with a smile on her pretty face. I seem to know your identity. Yunruoxi's pretty face showed a thoughtful look. If I guessed correctly, you should be Yelingxiu, Right. A person of similar age to myself, looks so extraordinary, and is surrounded by piercing murderous intent. It seems that there is no one else but the girl who has recently become famous in the eastern wasteland. And the other party's response, and it was also within Yoon Ruoxi's expectation. That's right. Ya Lingxiu nodded. Then, there was a moment of silence. Neither woman spoke, but their eyes stayed on each other, as if they were silently evaluating each other. But when they looked at each other, they both had the same emotion. There is a touch of appreciation, and even some sympathy for each other. They are both famous geniuses among the younger generation of the human race, and they both love the human race and do their best for the human race. They have the same ambition and goal, and they are both women. Naturally there is a silent sense of intimacy. I came here this time to go to the holy mountain to pay homage to the ruins of Emperor Wuxi. What about you? Yun. Ruoxi opened her mouth and revealed the purpose of her trip. Ever since the name of the Wuxi emperor was spread a few days ago and shocked the eastern wasteland, Yun Ruoxi set off towards the holy city. In addition to wanting to see the relics left by the emperor with his own eyes, the more important reason is that the Wuxi emperor is a descendant of the Dacheng holy body. The blood of the holy body also flows in his body. This can't help but make Yun Ruoxi there is a natural sense of intimacy. At the same time, because the blood of the holy body flows in the body of the Wuxi emperor, she is also looking forward to whether she can find the follow-up techniques of the holy body inheritance here. Are you going to the sacred mountain too? My destination is also there, how about we go together? After hearing Yun Ruoxi's words, Ya Lingxiu replied with a smile. She had the same purpose as Yun Ruoxi. She came to the holy city this time to pay homage to the remains of Emperor Wuxi. Of course there is no problem. Yun Ruoxi nodded, but then hesitated and said. My whereabouts have attracted much attention from the world. Although I had taken care to hide my whereabouts when I arrived, I still attracted a lot of attention. If you travel with me, I'm afraid it's going to be quite dangerous. It doesn't matter, the eyes focused on me are no less than yours. You and I are walking together. Even if danger does come, we will join hands to fight against the enemy. Ya Lingxiu smiled. In the past few days, she has killed countless ancient creatures and scum that oppressed the human race. There are many people who want to take revenge on her. Okay, if that's the case, then you and I can go together. Seeing Ya Lingxiu's frankness, Yun Ruoxi agreed readily. The two women were talking here and did not notice at all that there was another figure standing beside them. Qin Mu looked at Yun Ruoxi who was talking. The two girls, Ya Lingxiu, couldn't help but shake their heads slightly. With the strength of the two of them, they would have no problem dealing with some ordinary troubles. Both of them have the inheritance of the great emperor level in their hands. Although their current realm is not high, even if they face the first level of Xiantai the powerful ones, and even the Holy Lord level experts of CNER, have the confidence to escape. This is also the reason why Yun Ruoxi and Ya Lingxiu dare to walk around the world. However, Qin Mu has always focused a ray of attention these days. When it comes to the two women, he can keenly feel that there is a huge force in the dark, which is paying attention to the movements of the two women, and I am afraid that it has evil intentions. When the two women arrived in the holy city, Qin Mu finally knew that this close relationship where does the power to pay attention to the movements of Yun Ruoxi and Ya Lingxiu come from. Because at this moment, there are a total of 2 Holy Master level powerful men, 6 powerful men of the first level of Xiantai, lurking in this holy city, setting up a dragnet. It was as if they were waiting for the two women to fall into a trap. Among these people, Qin Mu unexpectedly found a familiar face. The disciple of the leader of the Tianshen sect, Gu Weishan. It seems that these people who were ambushing in secret and the Tianshen sect also escaped. It has nothing to do with it. As for why the other party ambushed Ya Lingxiu and Yun Ruoxi, Qin Mu also roughly guessed it. Compared with the ancient tribe, the celestial god sect probably does not want to see a great emperor in the human race. In addition, the gods are now the headmaster died, and the remaining members of the god cult became even more crazy. It does not seem difficult to understand that they would do such a thing. Under such a dragnet, it is almost impossible for Yunruoxi and Yelingxiu to escape. Perhaps, the only way only Qin Mu's personal action can resolve this dead situation. However, Qin Mu has always been hiding behind the scenes and promoting all developments. Now that he suddenly appears, even if no one knows his identity, it is not good to attract too many people's attention. Maybe, I should prepare a vest for myself? I often hide behind the scenes and feel a little lonely. With a suitable identity, I can take action at will, even if someone notices me. Qin Mu said thoughtfully. The so-called vest is naturally another fabricated identity. If Qin Mu wants to take action, he will appear in front of the world with this identity. After the matter is over, he will change back to his true self. In this way, he will behave in a certain way. Incomparable freedom, no need to worry about anything. Anyway, you are just using the identity of the vest, and the real body can still remain mysterious and hidden behind the scenes. Fantasy, I am the big boss behind the scenes. Author, Guanyun Taoist. Chapter 67. After Yelingxiu reached an agreement with Yunruoxi, she did not hesitate and immediately left the holy city and headed for the holy mountain. However, they had just set out, and before they even left Shenyang city, something unexpected happened. Haha, is it the holy body of this world? Since you are here, there is no need to leave. Killing my descendants and devouring their origins, so rampant, they should be punished. A low voice sounded over the holy city. At the same time, the sky suddenly turned dark, and streams of extremely majestic aura rose from not far away from Yelingxiu and Yunruoxi, faintly surrounding them. Trending in the center. Holy Lord level powerhouse. Feeling the majestic and terrifying energy fluctuations, Yelingxiu's eyes were solemn. There was a Holy Lord level powerhouse ambushing secretly, and it seemed that there were more than one. The majestic and vast aura erupted, and a stream of dragon-like blood flowed directly, soaring into the sky, shaking the entire Shenyang city. All the monks in the city cast their gazes in the direction of the rising auras, and their eyes were full of surprise and uncertainty. What happened? There is such a strong person in Shenyang. The city is showing off its aura, and is it so unscrupulous? Let the holy body be punished. There are so many strong men gathering to send you on your way. You are already proud enough. The witch is also here, so just in time, we can save them the trouble and send them on their way together. A cold and deep voice came from the void. Around Yelingxiu and Yunruoxi, in the sky and on the earth, figures appeared one after another, like demons, blocking all their escape routes. In the end, there were 2 figures in total. The Holy Lord, 6 powerful men, appeared together, their auras majestic and powerful, shaking the entire holy city. Apparently, they came to take the lives of Yelingxiu and Yunruoxi, and wanted to kill them. It's the human holy body. And the proud woman of heaven who is as famous as the holy body, they actually appeared together in the holy city. Oh my God! They are the strongest among the younger generation of the human race and the hope for the future of the human race. Who wants to kill them? In Shenyang city, the monks who had investigated the situation exclaimed, their voices full of surprise and anxiety. Yelingxiu and Yunruoxi, both women are highly regarded talents among the younger generation of the human race in the Eastern Barren Territory. These days, is even more famous in the Eastern Wilderness, and is hailed as the hope of the future of the human race. Now, there are 2 holy master level powerful men, leading 6 powerful men, coming together to kill them. It is conceivable that if today the killing of the Jurchens was definitely a painful blow to the human race in the eastern wasteland. Who on earth was so brazen about the world's disapproval that he even hesitated to attack and kill them in the holy city? Aren't they afraid that such an act would cause the human race to the strong people are outraged? Are these people going to be liquidated? Many human monks in the city are puzzled and have no way of knowing the identities of these strong men who suddenly appear. Because these strong men who suddenly appear have all disguised their identities, and their appearance and figure are hidden in a fog, unable to see through. People who hide their heads and show their tails dare to come and kill us, but don't dare to reveal their identity. Yalingxia opened her mouth, staring at the two holy masters, but anxiously thinking of countermeasures in her heart. She has mastered a secret technique in the heaven-swallowing demon technique, which can instantly increase her speed and throw away the enemy. This is also what she borrowed. This capital is walking on the land of the Eastern Barren Territory. But now there are too many enemies, all escape routes are blocked, and the ones with the lowest strength are the great powers of the first level of Sendai. Like an airtight net, trapping them in the center, even if they use the secret method, they can't escape at all. The two holy masters and 6 powerful ones were really a huge formation. The most ironic thing was that they were all from the human race. Yun Ruoxi's eyes were cold, and there was a sneer on the corner of her mouth. 2 holy master-level warriors from the human race, 6 powerful men, gathered in the holy city and actually wanted to attack and kill 2 of their juniors. Comparing the current situation of the human race, these human behavior is a great irony. Haha, he is sharp-tongued and sharp-tongued, but what's the use of it? Now all the human forces from the 5 directions have left the holy city, and no one in the city can compete with us. No matter how much time I give you, it will be in vain and useless. A holy lord shrouded in heavy fog spoke. 2 indifferent eyes cast his gaze, seeming to see through the minds of the 2 women. However, he was not in a hurry, just like a cat playing with a mouse. Just like he said, at this moment, there is no strong human being in the holy city who can save them. Yalingxia and Yun Ruoxi, 2 girls, cannot escape with their wings. We are all human beings, but you attack us. Aren't you afraid of being liquidated when the time comes? Yalingxia took a deep breath, and a touch of despair emerged in her heart. She is not afraid of desperate situations. Even if she is in a desperate situation, she will try her best to survive. But the current situation is not a desperate situation, but a death situation. She has tried everything possible to use, however, it was impossible to help her escape from this disaster. Being liquidated? Hey, does anyone know our identity? What's more, even if you know, so what, what's the point of avenging the 2 dead human geniuses? The Holy Lord hidden in the shadow chuckled, his laughter full of disdain. Yalingxia and Yun Ruoxi fell into death, while the other human monks in the holy city were anxious. There are no strong human beings guarding the city now. Who can stop these madmen? Do we really want to watch them being killed? There is also a human race holy body among them, that is the hope of the future of the human race. A human monk said in despair. It is not easy for such geniuses to appear among the younger generation of the human race in the Eastern Barren Territory, and there is also a human holy body among them. If they attack and kill in the holy city, they will not be able to attack the human race of the Eastern Barren Territory. It is definitely a very heavy blow. It is a huge irony that the genius of the human race was attacked and killed by a strong man of the same race before he died at the hands of a foreign race. There is no way, no one can save them. This is a death situation even more hopeless than a desperate situation. The human monk also said in despair. You hear me, no one thinks you can escape today. Therefore, it is better to welcome death obediently. A holy lord stepped forward with a cold voice. Go on the road, kill the wizards, and cover the sky with one hand. The holy lord took action, resolutely and simply. His crystal-clear jade palm struck in the direction where the 2 women were standing. A palm strike was intertwined with the power of the law and penetrated the void. The earth was shaken by this terrifying power. Broken, the majestic power fluctuations are despairing. In fact, this holy Lord believes that he alone can kill the two women, but for the sake of safety, so many strong men are dispatched, which is enough to prove that they how seriously do you attach importance to this matter. The palm struck, and the cold killing intent froze the void. I've troubled you today. Yun Ruoxi smiled bitterly, but there was a fighting spirit rising in her eyes. Even in the face of such a fatal situation, she did not lose her fighting spirit. Even if she died, she would die on the road of battle and not fall into the name of the holy body. However, right there just when the Holy Lord hidden in the mist was about to forcefully kill Yun Ruoxi and Ye Lingxiu, a cold voice suddenly sounded in the void. Hiding your head and showing your tail, attacking the genius of the descendants of the human race, you are in vain. What followed this voice was an incomparable coercion that shook the entire holy city. All the creatures in the city felt a tremor. A figure in white clothes and snow cut through the void like a ray of divine light from the beginning, standing in front of the two women. His majestic figure made people tremble and want to worship him. He raised a finger and just moved forward slightly, which actually caused the endless law to resonate with it and turned into a long rainbow, tearing the heaven and the earth apart. The giant palm, as white as jade, was hit by this rainbow, and it instantly shattered and dissipated between the heaven and the earth. And the Holy Lord who struck this blow was shaken all over, as if struck by thunder, and suddenly he flew backwards, blood gushing from his mouth. With one finger, he severely injured a Holy Lord. At this moment, the figure of Shensu in white clothes was like a god king coming to the dust, with unparalleled power and unparalleled grace. Instantly attracted everyone's attention, become the only one in this world. Fantasy, I am the big boss behind the scenes. Author, Guanyun Taoist. Chapter 68. Who? The appearance of this white-clothed figure shocked everyone present. He severely injured a holy lord with one finger. How powerful is this figure that suddenly appeared? Even Ye Lingxiu and Yun Ruoxi, who were originally desperate, the woman, at this moment, also turned her gaze to the white-clothed Shensu figure in front of her, her beautiful eyes full of shock. You receive shocking points add 12,433 from the ancient god. You receive a shocking point of add 9,888 from Zhao Wuj. You received shocking points add 4,558 from Ye Lingxiu. You receive shocking points add 4,155 from Yun Ruoxi. You receive from. Looking at the crazy rising shock points on the system panel, Qin Mu smiled slightly. The white-clothed figure who suddenly appeared and severely injured the Holy Lord with one finger was naturally him. However, he did not show his true face at this moment, and even his aura changed, as if he had become a completely different person. This is also thanks to the effect of Ju Tian Escape Earth Shadowless Scripture, which not only can hide the breath and break the restrictions, but also has the ability to change the world and change one's own appearance and breath. This figure in white clothes, Sheng Shui, is the first identity Qin Mu chose for himself. A peerless divine king with a king's level of cultivation. Such a powerful aura, like the presence of a god in the dust. Who is this senior, and why does he suddenly appear to protect the holy body and the witch? It's hard to believe that a truly strong man actually stood up. Qin Mu suddenly appeared and rescued Ye Lingxiu and Yun Ruoxi, which made the monks in the holy city exclaim. They thought that Yun Ruoxi and Ye Lingxiu had fallen into a desperate situation just now, but they didn't expect that they would meet each other now. The Holy Lord was born. The Holy Lord who vomited blood and flew backwards after being pointed by Qin Mu fell into the dust. He looked at Qin Mu with an expression of disbelief. Far surpassing the Holy Lord, so powerful. The person who came here was really too strong. Just a casual finger made him feel helpless. Who are you? Why stand up for two little guys who have never met each other? Another Holy Lord level powerhouse who came to attack was no longer as calm as before and asked slightly uneasily. The bloodline of the holy body has fought bloody battles for the human race from generation to generation, and has immeasurable merits for the human race. Both of them are the hope and seeds of the future of the human race. As a human race, if you don't want to cultivate the descendants of your race, but if you want to kill the genius, you should be punished. Qin Mu's eyes were like cold lightning, tearing through the void and breathtaking. Ha, this senior, misunderstandings are all misunderstandings. I will leave right away. I will leave right away. The Holy Master smiled dryly, and the breath in his body fluctuated. He slowly backed away, wanting to leave this place of right and wrong. Did I let you go? Qin Mu spoke calmly, raised a jade-white palm, and pressed it towards the Holy Lord. His white clothes were as white as snow, and his spirit was as rich as jade. His expression was very calm, but when he took action, he was like a supreme god. Walking in the human world. The place where the palm passed was destroyed, and the space directly collapsed, which was simply unbearable. The Holy Lord roared, and every hair on his body stood up, with an unparalleled sense of danger. He tried his best, the divine power surged crazily in his body, inciting the laws of heaven and earth, and even offered up an ancient holy master-level shield intertwined with Tao and reason, lying in front of him, trying to block the blow. However, facing Qin Mu's palm attack, the resistance of this holy lord seemed so fragile. The ancient shield was shattered the moment it came into contact with Qin Mu's palm, and it did not act as a barrier at all. The palm of the Holy Lord was as white as jade, but it was like the most indestructible god in the world. The soldiers were devastating, destroying everything. In just an instant, they broke through all defenses and stamped their mark on the chest of this Holy Lord-level powerhouse. Bang! A dull voice sounded, and this Holy Lord-level powerhouse also stepped forward. Following the footsteps of the Holy Lord-level powerhouse, he vomited blood and flew out miserably. Run! Withdraw! After witnessing the scene with their own eyes, the remaining 6 powerful men from the first level of Immortal platform were so frightened that they turned around and wanted to escape from this place. Even the 2 most powerful Holy Lord level warriors were defeated by each other. They were defeated overwhelmingly. There was no way they could be each other's opponents. Each of the 6 Immortal stage great masters chose a direction and fled frantically, trying to leave this terrifying place. However, Qin Mu's expression remained calm, and his clothes were spotless, worry-free and joyless. Finally, he moved, his body swayed, and he was majestic, like a dragon walking in the world. In just a moment, he appeared in front of a great master. He pointed out the great master, and then he couldn't even look at it. Without looking at it, he dodged again and appeared in front of another great master. Then, just like the same method, Qin Mu dodged in front of the 6 great masters one by one, and finally returned to the same place, with his black hair dancing lightly and his white clothes still lingering. The dust was stained. But at this time, the figures of the 6 escaping powers froze down one by one, with disbelief in their eyes. Hiccup. Brilliant blood flowers bloomed one by one between their eyebrows, charming and shocking. Just now, Qin Mu took action and directly penetrated their heads with his fingers. The corpses of 6 Immortal stage powerful men fell from the sky like dumplings. At this moment, the world was silent. Qin Mu paced go forward and walked towards the 2 holy masters who were injured and fell to the ground. He has an unparalleled grace, like a god standing in the dust, looking down at the common people, overlooking the earth, and there is no opponent at all. Spare my life. Senior, whatever you want to know, I will tell you. There was deep fear in the eyes of the 2 holy masters. They were frightened and begged for mercy, hoping that Qin Mu would spare their lives. But Qin Mu's men did not move at all. After a pause, he pointed a finger, and the majestic divine power surged. The 2 holy lords instantly turned into flying ashes and completely perished. In an instant, the 2 holy lords and 6 powerful men all died? What happened was really true. It was too fast, dazzling, and gave no one time to react. When many monks in the city came to their senses, all the strong men who surrounded and killed Ye Lingxiu and Yun Ruoxi had already died. And Qin Mu, wearing white clothes, Sheng Shui, stood here. In the Shura field, the white clothes are not stained by even a trace of dust. He is really like a peerless God King, with supreme grace. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I am the big boss behind the scenes. Author, Guanyun Taoist. Chapter 69. The whole city was silent. Qin Mu effortlessly killed many powerful enemies by himself, which shocked many human monks in Shenyang city. 2 holy lords, 6 mighty ones. Such a huge force was killed so easily. It's unimaginable, it's like a peerless divine king. When did such a strong person appear in our human race? Why haven't I heard of it before? All the human beings in the city were shocked, and at the same time they were filled with doubts. I have never heard of such a strong man appearing among the humans in the eastern wasteland. He killed the Holy Lord like he killed a chicken, and his strength was as strong as Wang Yangxi, unfathomable. But at the same time, people's respect for Qin Mu has deepened. Even the Holy Lord is not his enemy. The figure of Shensu in white clothes may have already surpassed the Holy Lord realm. You receive shocking points add 2433 from Zhao Zheking. You receive shocking points add 1888 from Yufeng. You received shocking points add 4558 from Ye Lingxiu. You receive shocking points add 4155 from Yun Ruoxi, Qin Mu stood silently, looking at the rising shock points on the system panel with a look of indifference. After killing many powerful enemies, Qin Mu did not stop. He stepped forward, his figure swayed, and appeared in front of a void. He stretched out his hand to grab it, and the void split open, and he grabbed a figure out of the void. This figure had a look of horror on his face and his body was trembling. He was obviously frightened by Qin Mu's divine power. But in the holy city, some human monks showed indignation because they had recognized the identity of this figure. Tianshan sect, Holy Son Gu Weishan. Dead, all dead. Gu Weishan was held in Qin Mu's hands, muttering to himself, lost in thought. He really didn't expect that the carefully planned killing situation would lead to such a result. During the last trip to the sacred mountain, the headmaster of the Tianshan sect forced his way into the ancient Taoist platform and was cut into nothingness by a wisp of chaotic energy. But God Gyuwei saved a life. However, after returning to Tianshan cult, he was unwilling to remain calm. The celestial sect has a powerful foundation and a large number of followers, most of whom are fanatical believers. The people attacked and killed today were all fanatical believers in the Tianshan sect. The emergence of the relics of Emperor Wuxi was a very heavy blow to the teachings of the celestial sect. If the holy body of the human race is allowed to grow again, the blow to the celestial sect will be even greater. I am afraid that the entire ancient religion will fall apart because of this. God Gyuwei is a fanatic believer of the Tianshan section. He naturally did not want to see this scene, so after reporting everything to the top of the Tianshan sect, he and other fanatic believers of the Tianshan sect personally planned the attack and killing in the holy city. There were some strong men who had a grudge against Ye Lingxiu, so God Gyuwei united them with the strong men of the Tianshan sect, and this was how they formed today's luxurious attack and killing lineup. Originally, Gu Weishan was just watching the show in secret, preparing to quietly appreciate the tragic death of Yun Ruoxi and Ye Lingxiu, and had no intention of coming out. But who knows, the plan could not keep up with the changes, and things developed far beyond his expectations. Not only did nothing happen to the two girls, Ye Lingxiu and Yun Ruoxi, who should have died, but the strong men who attacked and killed them were both dead. And the person who turned the situation around and caused all this was this guy? Gu Weishan turned to look at Qin Mu, his body trembling slightly, and his eyes were filled with fear. Spare me. The leader of the celestial sect is dead. I can help you control the celestial sect and gain endless power and wealth. God Gyuwei begged for mercy. Power and wealth. Qin Mu glanced at Gu Weishan and shook his head gently. The celestial sect will cease to exist from tomorrow. Qi, a ray of divine power, flowed down Qin Mu's palm and poured into the head of God Gu Wei. Immediately afterwards, the divine power surged, and God Gu Wei's body suddenly exploded, dead. Thank you, Senior God King, for your life-saving grace. Ya Lingxiu and Yun Ruoxi looked at Qin Mu, their beautiful eyes full of gratitude. If Qin Mu hadn't appeared today, they might not have been able to escape from this dead situation. It doesn't matter, everyone can find these scum of the human race and punish them. Qin Mu replied calmly. After that, he looked at Yun Ruoxi and said, the bloodline of the holy body is stronger than the physical body, but don't rely too much on the power of the physical body. Although the single pole realm is powerful, if you take a wrong approach and want to reach the true peak, it will be as difficult as climbing to the sky. Thank you, God King, for your teaching. Yun Ruoxi's eyes were filled with shock. She didn't expect that the peerless God King in front of her could understand the physique of the holy body so clearly. Could it be said that the God King in front of her had come into contact with other holy bodies? Except for herself in this world, are there other holy bodies? Or is this God King, like herself, exposed to the inheritance related to the holy body? Yun Ruoxi was extremely shocked. But she did not see Ya Lingxiu beside her. The eyes looking at Qin Mu were also full of shock. And the shock was even far greater than that of Yun Ruoxi. Ya Lingxiu was smart as ice and snow. Just now she was wondering why this God King appeared like this by coincidence. He saved himself. If the other party happened to be in the holy city, this reason was too far-fetched. Unless the other party had been paying attention to himself or Yun Ruoxi, he would appear in such a timely manner to help them break the desperate situation. But, why did the other party do this? At first, Ya Lingxiu thought that the other party might be cherishing his talent. But just now, Ya Lingxiu's eyes inadvertently swept across Qin Mu's hand, and his whole body suddenly felt as if he had been struck by lightning. He was in great shock. On Qin Mu's finger, he was wearing a simple bronze ring. It was a bronze ring. It was left behind by the ruthless empress. Ya Lingxiu's heart was beating fiercely. She could not mistake this bronze ring. It was the bronze ring dropped by the ruthless empress outside the ice and snow city in the past. That day, Ya Lingxiu picked up the bronze ring in the Tianduan mountains and opened the ruthless inheritance secret realm. But in the end, after the secret realm teleported her out, she was left alone. No matter how hard he searched, there was no trace of the bronze ring. Ya Lingxiu never expected that she would see the bronze ring here again today. It was also worn on the hand of a mysterious human god king. The ruthless empress's the bronze ring is actually in the hands of a white-clothed god king. Then he must know something related to the ruthless empress. He may even have some relationship with the ruthless emperor. Then he may know that he has obtained the ruthless emperor. The inheritance of the great emperor? No wonder he appeared so timely and saved himself. At this moment, Ya Lingxiu had all kinds of thoughts in her heart, and her imagination was running wild. Not only did she know the secrets related to the holy body, but she also held the bronze ring of the ruthless emperor. Who is this divine king in white? What is his relationship with the holy body and the ruthless emperor? At this moment, Qin Mu's image became more and more mysterious in Ya Lingxiu's heart. Fantasy, I am the big boss behind the scenes. Author, Guanyuan Taoist. Chapter 70. Senior God King, are you related to the ruthless emperor? Ya Lingxiu couldn't bear it anymore and finally asked the question. The bronze ring worn by Qin Mu on her finger shocked Ye Lingxiu too much. She wanted to know what the white-clothed God King in front of her was like. What is the connection with the ruthless emperor? Qin Mu looked at Ye Lingxiu and said with a smile. You have obtained her inheritance, even though it is only part of it, but you cannot lose her prestige. Although the heaven-swallowing demonic art is named as a demonic art, it is not really a demonic art. As long as you keep your heart, kill the people you should kill, and protect the people you should protect, the devilish art will turn into a heavenly art, and your future will be the same. Will be limitless. Qin Mu did not answer Ye Lingxiu's question, but instead revealed Ye Lingxiu's identity and her inheritance. It is still necessary to maintain a sense of mystery, even if what appears at this moment is only his number one vest. As for what is the relationship between himself and the ruthless emperor? Haha, let Ye Lingxiu figure it out and guess by herself. Sure enough, after hearing Qin Mu's words, the look of shock on Ye Lingxiu's pretty face became even more intense. The other party, he actually knew that he was carrying the inheritance of the great emperor. Who is this God King? That day in the Tianduan Mountains, only the master knew that he was carrying the inheritance of the great emperor. And the master was it is impossible to tell this matter. How does the white-clothed God King in front of him know? Not only does he hold a bronze ring in his hand, he also knows that he has obtained the inheritance of ruthless people, and even knows that the inheritance he received is the devouring heaven demon technique. When these clues were connected together, an idea suddenly popped up in Ye Lingxiu's mind. This white-clothed divine king must be inextricably related to the ruthless emperor. Maybe some time ago, in the Tianduan Mountains, the inheritance of the ruthless emperor in the world was arranged by the white-clothed God King. However, what is the relationship between the white-clothed God King and the ruthless emperor? Is he also the inheritor of the ruthless emperor? Or something else? Qin Mu stood quietly. He did not expect that in this short period of time, Ye Lingxiu could figure out so much and even guess the truth of some things correctly. You still have a long road ahead. Keep going. Humanity is long and the night is endless. There will always be a moment of light. Don't let down the bloodline and inheritance you carry. Qin Mu looked at Yun Ruoxi and Ye Lingxiu, and after saying these words, he turned and left. He walked like a dragon with a look of disdain. In just a few steps, he left Shenyang city and disappeared among the crowd. In his field of vision, there were only eyes full of reverence and awe, casting towards the direction he left. After leaving Shenyang city, Qin Mu did not stop. He walked on the land of the eastern wasteland and soon came to the territory of the celestial god section. Like a god's residence, he came here forcefully. He took action with all his strength, and the power of the God King was fully displayed. The earth was shaking, the space was shattering, and all laws were roaring. The members of the heavenly God sect could not resist at all. After just a cup of tea, the heavenly God sect, the ancient inheritance of the human race in the Eastern Barren Territory, was completely destroyed by Qin Mu and removed from the Eastern Barren Territory. Of course, Qin Mu was not a murderer and acted very measuredly. Except for most of the fanatical believers of the Celestial God sect, he killed them mercilessly. Like a small group of believers who had just joined the Celestial sect and did not yet understand the teachings of the Celestial sect, and who did not disrespect the human race, he still spared their lives. But no matter what, the Celestial sect, an ancient force inherited by the human race in the Eastern Wasteland, was destroyed. Only some ruins remain, proving that the sect once existed in this world. In Shenyang city, the heavenly God sect sent out 2 holy masters and 6 powerful men, setting up a dragnet to kill Yun Ruoxi and Ye Lingxiu. At the moment of despair, the mysterious and unpredictable God King in white descended from the sky. His power was immeasurable. In just a few breaths, he killed all the enemies. Afterwards, they came to the Tianchen sect forcefully and destroyed the sect's inheritance. This piece of news, like a storm, spread wildly among the humans in the Eastern Wasteland. the Divine King in White is unparalleled in splendor. The human beings who were lucky enough to witness the attack of the God King in White were all extremely excited and described what they saw and heard to others. For a time, the mysterious God King in White became one of the hottest topics among the human race in the eastern wasteland. Along with this, even the looks with ulterior motives on Yelingxiu and Yunruoxi have become much less. Because no one knew whether the God King in White was still with the two women. He is like a silent intimidation, frightening all those with ulterior motives. No one dares to bet their own lives. Because the celestial sect, which has been destroyed, is the best example. I went out as a vest and showed off for a while, and actually received a total of 300,000 shock points. I should do more of this kind of thing in the future. Qin Mu looked at his shock points at the moment and said with emotion. Even if Qin Mu already has 8 million shock points now, these 300,000 shock points are by no means a small number. When nothing happens in the future, it will be you can use your identity as a vest a few more times. This will not only scare some young people from the human race, but also gain a lot of shock points. Why not? Now that the human race has been deterred, there should be no problems in a short time. The ones most prone to problems are the Teku 10,000 clans. Qin Mu thought while stroking his chin. He had just transformed into a white-clothed divine king, destroyed the celestial god sect, and shocked the human race. At this time, no one should dare to jump out and find trouble. On the Teku 10,000 races side, although it seems calm now, but Qin Mu knows that all this is just an illusion. It is true that Wuxi Zongwei killed 5 ancient kings one after another. But it can really make the ancient tribes fearful and give up completely. Deal with the human race? I'm afraid not. You know, among the ancient tribes, there are also royal families, and there are more than one lineage. In the hands of the royal family, they even hold the ultimate imperial weapons. According to legend, this time the 5 ancient kings were encouraged to take action. Yes, it is a royal force. Now that the 5 ancestor kings have died, it is equivalent to a slap in the face of that royal family. Will the other party give up so easily? Moreover, the royal family to which these 5 fallen ancient kings belong, I'm afraid he's not willing to let his royal ancestor die in vain, right? It's just because he hasn't figured out the situation yet, so he chooses to endure it. The secret realm must continue to be arranged and cannot be stopped. It's just that the secret realm arranged this time should have nothing to do with the human race. This will not only divert the attention of all races from focusing on the human race, but also take the opportunity to lay out some means to kill and weaken some of the ancient races. Qin Mu said to himself. The next secret realm does not involve humans, maybe I know which secret realm to arrange. After pondering for a moment, a smile appeared on Qin Mu's lips. He already knew what to arrange for the 6th secret realm. Enter the secret space. Qin Mu moved his mind and entered the secret space. System, open the exchange list. Qin Mu called the system, and then searched for the items he wanted from the exchange list. Found it? After a moment, Qin Mu's eyes lit up. The thing he wanted to exchange, which was also the core of the next secret realm, seemed to have appeared in front of him. Broken Demon King Ruler. Price, 3 million shock points. Introduction, it is said that it was the ultimate imperial weapon forged by a generation of demon emperors, and the fragments were left after it was broken.